There we go. Okay. Share screen. Okay. So how do I expand this? Let me check. Start. Anyways, you guys can see it. So we lost Jason. I don't know what happened, but Jason was on here. I lost him.
Maybe he doesn't like being recorded.
That could be it. Okay, great. Usually it says start, but anyways, let's just get started. So, getting more listings. You guys are going to realize that some of the things that you might hear tonight, you have heard of, right? It's not going to be a lot of breakthroughs, but I think it is going to be a lot of breakthroughs, but it's not going to be anything that you probably haven't heard before. But that's not a bad thing, because our mind, for some reason, wants to find difficulties or wants to find complications and things. Why that is, I don't know. But why is it that when we see the people that are doing the best in this industry, they're doing the same simple things every single day? It's their daily actions. Sorry, my dog's going crazy. But it's the same daily actions every day repeated over a long period of time that's going to get those results. And even though we may be looking for, that quick fix or that thing that is going to be different, and sometimes there are those things, what's going to count the most is if we pick one of them and we go all in on that. So if that one thing is social media marketing, go all in on it. If that one thing is door knocking, go all in on that. If that one thing is phone calls, go all in on that. I've done door-to-door sales for years, and that was the worst one thing that I could have ever picked. I've never done social media marketing. I know a lot of people who do it. I don't know the results because they could say that they're doing great. I just don't know because I haven't seen the actual physical, I guess you could say. I haven't really dug deep into it. I think I'm more old school, but anyways, about a year ago, I moved to Florida. I didn't know one soul, and I went through a really, really rough period. A rough period where it was kind of shedding layers off what didn't work until I found what did work. So I wanted to start with what the benefits of listings are, because no one's forced to be a realtor. We want to be realtors. Usually it's because of freedom. Usually it's because we want to have the lifestyle that we get to decide and we get to schedule our days. And that's usually why we would want to. Hopefully no one's trying to admit in, because I can't admit them right now while I'm on this call. Sorry, guys. So the benefits of listing. So we get into this business so that we can have the time freedom. We get into this business so that we can make big commissions and we can help people, of course. But once we get into this business, we realize everything that comes with this business. And we realize that everyone thinks, especially our sellers, especially our buyers, that we aren't doing our job. Maybe we're not doing it right. Maybe we're not doing as much as they think they are. And we've all heard countless times, I fired that realtor because they didn't do their job. I fired that realtor because they didn't do anything besides put it on the MLS. Little do they know, we're doing so much behind the curtain, and we're stressing out about our client's $3,000 deposit that hopefully the seller doesn't sue our client for, and then we get the whiplash. And all the legality of dealing with contracts, even though it's the same contracts every day, we're submitting a contract with our client's name on it, and we hold that responsibility. So there's a lot to this job, and it's not really, it's not advertised as much as, the glamorous Tampa, what is it called? The new show. Does anyone know the new show in Tampa? It's like the Selling Tampa. I don't know, I haven't watched it personally, but I'm sure it's extremely glamorous. I bet there's Gucci everywhere. I bet there's mansions everywhere. And it's exactly what everyone thinks that real estate is. But then we get into it And we're like, geez, these buyers, the cost of gas, and I have to show these 5 homes and the realtor's not responding. And, I find out 2 days later that that it was already pending, or, they already got a contract, right? So basically, there is a massive benefit to listings, and we all know what they are. This is nothing new, right? We all know the benefits of listings, but why do we waste time doing anything besides getting listings? Why do we do that? Well, it's because we forget about the benefits of listings. And my dog, you've eaten an entire plate of food. What do you want? Oh my gosh. So we know this, we know the benefits of listings. Some would be the fact that we get paid massive commissions. We get to determine how much we get paid. And I'll tell you guys this, when I started out in Florida, I was so nervous and I was so shy about, hey, I don't know the market. I don't know people down here. I don't know anything about title companies because I'm not used to that. So how can I charge 5%? So I'm going to charge 4%. I'm going to charge 2 on this side, 2 on that side, right? And that's how I started off. Now, my most recent listing is 3.5% on my side and 2.5% on the other side. And that's how I'm going to go for moving forward. I'm never going to jip myself again. So we all know the benefits of listings. Right now, I'm currently in Massachusetts. I have a few listings on the market. I've closed a lot on the market in the past month, about 4. I got one under contract today for a buyer. And let me ask Vasily, because Vasily's in the same house. Vasily's actually my brother, if you guys don't know. I wanted to see Vasily. Could you get Chloe? Would you be able to get Chloe?
Yeah, of course. I'll grab her.
Yeah. So let me get my train of thought back. So basically, the benefits of listings, they're endless, right? One of them is that we can be in a different state and continue to get paid, right? There's a level of freedom that we have when we get a listing. We can determine the price. We can determine what we do, like literally the work that we put in, the amount, and no one's kind of over our shoulder. If our client usually trusts in us once they sign on the dotted line. So, but there's levels to this, right? So the first level is just getting a listing. You're in the same town that you have the listing. You're following up with it. You're calling all the people that you need to maybe get your sign put up, or get your photography, or schedule all the things that you need to. But that's leverage, right? Because you're going to get paid once it sells. Hopefully it sells. But then there's other levels of leverage that listings can give you, such as if you have 10 listings and you do the same thing in that town, right? That's another level of leverage that you can have. Or one even above that would be, you're out of that town, you have 10 listings, and you have a buyer agent, and you have a photographer, and you have somebody else doing this and somebody else doing that, right? So let's move on before I continue down this thing. But you guys all understand the level to the degree that this can become is massive. It's really big, and it's really powerful. So next, communication lines. So this is the only way, based on my method, which is phone calls, which is making cold calls. It's not glamorous. It's not fun at first. It's all it is. I'll tell you, the only thing that phone calls is, it's guaranteed. That's the only thing phone calls is. It's not fun. It's not glamorous. It's not, anything else. The only thing that phone calls is it's guaranteed. Okay. So there's multiple ways you can have a communication line in the method that I use. I call, in-person conversations, text, and email. Okay, moving on. Leads. You could use Vulcan 7, Arch Agent, Mojo, RedX. There's a lot of different methods. I'm going to tell you guys this. About 8 months ago, I didn't have the extra money to pay Vulcan 7 $350 a month or $300 a month. In Mojo, in RedX, and all these contracts that they require. So you know what I did? I used Arch Agent, the free trial, the 14-day free trial. And you know what I did when that 14-day trial ran out? I used a different email. I used a different email. And you know what I did when that ran out? I used another email until they called me. They said, dude, you got to start paying for this. We need your damn money. And I was like, well, that's fine, because I just got four listings. I just got 4 listings in this 45 days from your 3 free trials. So this was damn worth it. I made them mad. They'll never let me use them again. But was it worth it? Yeah, those 4 listings, looking back, they probably paid me over 20 grand. Right? So next, you're not working if you're not talking to leads. This is the cold, brutal truth. This is the cold, brutal truth that when I didn't have any money and I was living in Florida and I was taking a shower in the morning because I knew that, like, I have nothing going for me, that the only thing that I could do to fix my situation is make phone calls. And it's the only thing that you have real control over. It's the number of listings that you have. And my methodology behind this is you get them and you throw them on MLS. You literally take it, you throw it as far as you can on MLS from a distance, and then you continue. And you don't even think about that. Now, who tells you that advice? Only 2 people. Probably the worst realtor ever, or somebody who is trying to be the best realtor ever. And that's it. That's probably it. And I hope I don't get in trouble for saying that, but that's I'm just telling you guys my reality, right? You know, I'm just telling you my reality, and I'm willing to do that because I believe that's what helps the most. Next, everything else gets a sideline. Buyers, open houses, showings, offers, your current clients, everyone takes a back seat. Food, the bathroom, everything takes a back seat. There's not one thing that is more important than this. Now, you know what's weird? I don't know who, does anyone know who Jeff is? No? Let me let Jeff in and let's see if he's a real person. Jeff? Let's see. I don't see him. Okay. Anyways, if Jeff pops up, hopefully he's not like naked or something. Seen a lot of those. I've seen a lot of those Zoom calls where people jump in, they're not even in real estate. Okay. So everything takes a sideline. It doesn't matter what it is, because here's the reality of it is that there's only one way that I know that will require you to get to the point where you have to do something like so shitty as making phone calls and getting rejected, which is really not as bad as I'm making it seem. And it's really not. But in my mind, the mind wants to find a solution all day long. It's trying to find solutions. That's why we think about problems that haven't even happened yet. We fear things that haven't even happened because our mind wants to find a solution to avoid pain. And if we've made a phone call, which all of us on the call has, if we've ever made a phone call, we've felt pain when somebody says F you on the call. So what is the mind going to want to do? It's going to want to look everywhere before it looks at what it fears the most. So here's what I do. I realize that there's a difference between physical pain and mental pain. There's a massive, massive difference. If anyone has been punched in the face, whether from boxing or had to fast. If you've ever had to fast, I know in the Muslim culture, you have to fast for a long period of time during the day, and at night you can eat. And it makes you sharper because you can differentiate what physical pain is and what mental pain is. And there is zero physical pain from making calls. Zero physical pain. The only pain is mental pain, because there's no actual, physical pain that you'll ever get from making phone calls. That's how I differentiate it, right? So everything else takes a sideline. Buyers, open houses, showings, offers, current clients. I don't care if I have an offer $30,000 over asking price that just hit my email if I'm making phone calls at the time. I don't care if I have to go to the bathroom. I don't care if I haven't eaten in 2 days. I don't care about any of that. If I haven't finished making calls and set an appointment. So moving on, number 8, 90% of your results in real estate are from getting a listing and putting it on the MLS. You get a listing, you get the contract signed, and you put it on MLS. Get a listing and you put it on MLS. Everything else is only 10%, such as checklisting, SkySlope. Trust me, there's 4 different parties involved in a transaction. There's the buyer's agent, there's the seller's agent, there's the buyer, and there's the seller. Do you think if the buyer's agent is not doing their job, that these other 3 people aren't going to get it to closing? They will. Trust me. So if you're the person out of the 4 who's not doing your job, now no one else will tell you this, right? But I'm trying to be the best. And the best requires me to fail a lot in order for me to have the most experience, to become the best, to know what it takes to be the best. Now I'm just telling you what I did. Now you could tell I'm the worst. You could tell me I'm the worst realtor, or you could tell me, hey, I want to get 4 to 10 listings a month. And as I build my team, things will get better. I'll do better at the showings. I'll do this, I'll do that, right? But I'm just telling you, I'm focused more on volume first, quality later. Volume first, quality later. What I mean by that is I need volume of listings now because I need money. I need food, right? I need rent. I need my phone bill. If this thing turns off, I'm out of business. So am I going to put somebody else's opinion as to how I run my real estate business before I put what I need to keep this phone running on? Hell no. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that because I can't, especially if I had kids. If I had kids, do you think I'm going to put somebody else's opinion as to how I run my real estate business before I put my ability to get a listing and throw it on MLS and feed my kids? No, of course not. I have to put what's most important to me first. And you know what it's made me? It's made me a better realtor. Because now, after getting those listings, after getting paid a lot, after having reserves, I want to do better for my clients. But there's one thing you have to realize first, is that you have to do better for you first, and then for your client second. You can't be trying to be the best realtor before you're not the best yourself, right? Okay, so everything else is just 10%. Focus on getting the listings. Next, everything else is out of your control. Because at the end of the day, we aren't the appraiser. The appraiser could knock everything down in one swipe, right? One swipe. After you did all this work and put all this time in, right? One swipe, the appraisal ruins everything. The inspector ruins everything. I've had both of those situations happen in the past week. A deal falls through because of the appraisal, and a deal falls through because of the inspection. Literally, I swear to God, I swear. 2 listings, one of them was supposed to get paid. I was supposed to get paid 2 days ago. Appraisal came in wrong or came in bad, faulty, destroyed. Like, I'm not even talking about this was undervalue. I'm talking about the appraisal came back and the lender was like, this is deficient. Literally just a stupid word, deficient. Like, what does that even mean? It's not, the home was valued above the price, but because there was an extra building in the back of on the lot, I can't get my $5,000 or $7,000. Now I can't feed my family, right? So this is what I'm saying, is that this is real life stuff every day. Same thing with an inspection. This past week, we got an inspection. It was apparently too much for the buyer to take on, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. Like, you could say that even if it wasn't, and I wouldn't have anything that I could do about it. So next, I think we have like 5 more minutes, guys. So you can always control what's going on outside, but you can't control what's going on inside. Have you noticed something different about those that make calls versus those that don't? There's an X factor. There is. It's the same thing. I don't know if you guys can find something that relates, but have you ever been in a situation where you couldn't get out and the only way to get out is through? The only thing I can think of is something would be have you guys ever seen UFC? People are in the cage. It's literally a cage, and it's like you're closed off, and the only way to get out is if the round ends, the fight ends, or you knock this guy out. That's the same exact thing with it's actually very, very different, but with the phone calls, your only option is to go and get through and do these phone calls. This is your only option. Stop listening to people and things that are not serving you. I had a goal a couple months ago. It was during one of my best months of phone calls that I was going to listen 120 hours on Audible in 1 month. I reached it. I actually did 100 the prior month, 120, and then 100. And that's kind of where I want to stay. I haven't been able to, unfortunately. Making calls, but not getting results. It's time to debug. Are you not asking for the close? Are you not good at objections? The third one is what's most likely probably happening. Do you not text the client right after you get the phone call, even if it went bad? So I got Suzanne as a client. So I had a 4 family that was up. I didn't have the extra money to take photographs. I took one picture with my phone, one picture of the front of the house. I had the client take a picture of each of the units. We sold for $113,000 over what she couldn't get last year with another agent. $113,000 over. I made over $10,000 on that deal. And now I can afford photography for the next 3 years for all of my clients. So that's what you have to do. And then Suzanne, she was the next door neighbor. I saw somebody getting an appraisal for the house next door. I asked my client, hey, let me get this lady's number. She's apparently going into foreclosure. She texts me later on. She's like, Christian, this is my house. Finally, okay, exhaust your resources. What do you do when you get a wrong number? Do you still text them? Do you still ask them, hey, do you know anyone else that's looking to buy or sell? Blah, 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 right? The trick is to not stop. Get in a rhythm like when you're running long distance. You recalibrate. So sorry, guys. This is really sloppy. Anyways, do you guys have any questions? I'm going to end it right there because that's kind of all I had. And I know this is going to end.
You're muted.
Oh, sorry about that. Okay, I'm going to stop the recording and then